Hi, welcome to my channel, The Bag Maker Society. My name's Deb. Today's video, I'm going to be showing you a hack on how to make card slots for a mini NCW. This is based on a video. I'll link it in the description box down below. I'll also link it up here if I can. The original video showed how to make the card slots for the standard size NCW. I took that video and worked out the measurements to make the card slots for the mini NCW. This is the vertical card slot, and this is basically the only way that I make my card slots now. It is a no fold card slot method. It is really very compact way of making the card slot. It's not bulky at all, and hopefully you can see that it's very square and it's a really neat way to do the card slots. So I'll go through all the measurements that you need and I'll show you step by step how to do it. This card slot method works with any fabric that is a no fray fabric, so such as water resistant canvas, waterproof canvas, a very thin vinyl, or anything like that. I am working with a waterproof canvas. This one is a 60 denier waterproof canvas, and I got this version from AA Market. So these are the pieces that you are going to need. So first of all, can I just point out, I do apologise for the plaster first of all on my finger. I have had an accident with the sewing machine, took a chunk out of my finger, and also possibly got a slight fracture in my finger, which has also stopped me having my nails done. So apologies for the nails needing to be done and the plaster on my finger. Hopefully you will bear with me. So first of all, we are going to need two pieces exactly the same. These pieces are the card slot back pieces from the pattern. Normally you would only need to cut out one of these, but cut out two exactly the same size, and we'll put these to one side for the time being. You then need these two pieces. These are exactly the same width as the card slot backs, but they are cut out one 8 inches deep and one 7 inches deep. Now normally the card slots are cut out of quite long pieces of fabric and are then folded in order to make the card slot. So by doing it this way, you're using so much less fabric and obviously really drastically reducing the bulk in the card slots. So there are two ways of folding over these shorter edges. I have a preferred method which I'm going to show you. So I'm going to take my 1/2 inch ruler. I'm going to line it up against the edge of the shorter edge. I'm going to take my stiletto and I'm just going to draw along the edge of that ruler, scoring the fabric. And I'm just going to do the same along each of the shorter edges. Now you only want to draw the stiletto along once. You don't want to repeatedly score the fabric, because what you will do is you will tear through and basically cut the fabric, which you don't want. But what that score will do is it will naturally make the fabric fold where you have scored along, and it will create a nice crisp fold. The other method that you can do if you don't want to do that is you can take an inch ruler, you can put it up against the edge of the fabric, you can mark along the fabric, preferably with a water soluble pen or a heat erasable pen, and then you can just fold the fabric down to that line and press, and each of those methods will give you a 1/2 inch fold. I prefer the first method because it does give you a little bit of a crisper fold because you have scored along that line. So what you want to do now is you just want to top stitch along each of these short edges. You want to top stitch 1/8 of an inch away from the folded edge, and my preferred top stitching length is a 4.5. So once both of those have been top stitched, the next thing to do is just to find the centres along the other edges. We're doing the same on the back pieces, making marks at the centre points along the 2 long edges. So taking one of those back pieces, then take the bigger of the 2 pieces that we've just worked on and matching up those centre pieces or centre marks, and just pop some clips in to keep them in place. Now I, at this point, because I am a little bit extra, just like to make sure that everything lines up nicely. And then, in order to make sure that when you put the cards into the card slots, cards don't go too far down into the card slots so that you can't retrieve them, we need to make a couple of stitch lines. Now, my preferred way of doing this is to use my inch ruler, and I line up the center line of my inch ruler where the center marks are, and mark either side. So basically we're creating an inch mark, so it's basically 1/2 inch either side of the center, and we are going to sew down these lines. Then we take our smaller piece and do exactly the same, lining up those centers. And we just need one line this time along that centre. Just make sure everything's lined up nicely, and we are just going to sew along this line here. So at this stage we need to create a divide for the cards, so we need to mark halfway and just draw a line down. So the measurement is in the pattern. And I'm just going to sew down this line here. I am going to backstitch over these card slots here just to create a little bit of extra reinforcement. Obviously this is where the cards are going to be taken in and out, so anything that creates a little bit of extra stability is all good in my book. And then we need to take our last piece and right sides together. Just going to match up those center seams. And making sure that everything lines up nice and neatly. We're going to stitch these two shorter edges, and we're going to do this at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And then just turn the card slots through. And we just want to push out these seams with our fingers, making sure that they're nice and flat. And we're going to top stitch along these short edges and then baste stitch along the long edges, just to make sure that everything is nice and neat and kept in place. And there you go, lovely neat card slots all ready to go into your mini NCW. I hope you found this video helpful, and again I will link the original size NCW no fold card slot video in the description box down below. But like I say, hopefully you have found this video helpful. If you have, please do give it a like, please do subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.